My definition of obesity would have to be someone who is basically overweight with their weight requirement. And I don't think that it is a problem. I mean, with certain people it is, but it's not a major issue.
I think it's a problem. I think more community organizations such as the PAL organizations, Boys and Girls Club, need to do more programs with the youth to get them up and more, moving around. A lot of people nowadays do a lot of video gaming, so a lot of people just stay in the house once they get home from school. All they want to do is just play video games. Now the students of today needs to get out and be more active. My definition would be students who weigh more than what their normal weight should be.
Well, my definition of obesity is when your weight comes in conflict with your daily activities in life. It is definitely a problem in America with heart disease and high blood pressure running rampant in our communities. And the leading cause of heart disease and high blood pressure is obesity. So with that being said, it's definitely a major problem. And if we could, with our youth and older people and the older generations, get our weight under control, that would definitely help to calm down the spread of high blood pressure and heart disease.
Okay, I'm so glad you said America, because I lived 15 years in Austria, where you have some overweight people, but you don't really have the obesity issues. And to come up with a scientific definition, I couldn't go there in terms of what the weight categories would be. But for me, obesity would be any type of overweight condition that becomes almost like an illness. It becomes an obsession that you cannot control your weight any longer, and that you would need some type of outside help in order to control it. So overweight person with who would need some type of outside help in reducing their weight.
I don't think I can get really technical on a true definition of obesity. I think obesity is basically one's opinion. Is it a problem in America? I believe so, because you have so many kids that are overweight at a young age, and it's going to get worse if we don't put a stop to it now. And I think that's why the First Lady has, made that one of her personal assignments to try to target these younger kids, because that's the next generation.
With obesity, it's just that somewhere something went wrong. Either they used food as a comfort, or just something tragic happened in their life, or they wasn't raised properly, or they didn't have the learning style to know what was right and what was wrong with exercising and eating right. So somewhere something went wrong.
All right. Well, let's meet our team. We are an intro. You can get this show for you. All right. Well, let's meet our team. We are an intro. We came to get this show for you. All right.
Okay, I think obesity starts even in the younger ages, starting in elementary schools. I have two boys who just finished elementary school. One's now in middle school. One just joined the high school. And I was shocked. I almost had a culture shock living abroad for 15 years, coming back to the States, and seeing young people as young as kindergarten age who I would consider to be obese. And at the high school, it's pretty prevalent. You see students in our cafeteria just walking in the halls who are certainly overweight and most likely classified as being obese. Yeah, and what factors into this, again, I'm comparing different cultures, but in Europe, you tend to eat your 3 meals a day, maybe have a snack in the evening, but they're not really a snacking culture like we are in the States. Also, we have a lot of food that's filled with chemicals, preservatives, additives. And I also noticed an increase in my weight almost immediately, even though I was eating around the same amounts. And I attributed that to the types of food I was eating, very high in fat contents, not only fat content calorie-wise, but also in it wasn't just healthy, natural food. So I think that plays a big role in obesity as well. And we don't tend to move around that much. I rode my bike everywhere in Austria, where I was living. We went shopping every second day. I went by bicycle to go shopping. My kids followed me in tow as soon as they could ride a bike. At age 4 or 5 years old, they were following me downtown. And since coming to the States, I drive everywhere. My kids also stay inside quite a lot. One of my sons is not very active. However, he's not obese. And again, his eating habits are very different to, I think, the typical eating habits of Americans.
One way it could be fixed is, I think, one, you have to give your kids literature or enhance their learning to be aware of obesity really is. I do think some obesity could be hereditary. I think everybody's so quick to put the blame on kids not being active or not being in, any extracurricular sports.
First and foremost is to live by example. It's difficult to tell your kids not to grab a Hostess cupcake when you yourself were eating 2 or 3 packs of it. Try to cook healthy, represent a healthy lifestyle, living very moderately. There are many things that probably are not very healthy that we still eat, but everything is within moderation. We grab microwave food every now and then, but we don't make it become the staple of our diet. That might be on occasion if we're running late or rushing to get someplace that we might stop and grab some type of fast food, but it doesn't become an evening habit. And I guess that would be my advice, is to do everything in moderation and to live by example.
One thing, I think they have to first start off with eating right. Make sure your kids are getting, 3 proper meals a day. Mainly breakfast. A lot of kids don't eat a good breakfast.
I've always discussed with my players about taking care of their bodies because you can only get out of your body for what you put in, and especially with the game of football, which is a very physically demanding sport.
I lost 21 pounds.
39 pounds.
31 pounds.
Millions of Americans have made Hydroxycut the #1 weight loss supplement.
Now is that time. P90X is the program. That's what I did.
It's the typical American way again. We want the quick fix. We want to be able to do everything, eat a lot, not move very much, not work very hard maybe to attain a certain weight goal. We want the quick fix that we're going to get through whatever they're advertising on TV. I think we have one of the largest industries in the world for weight loss supplements.
I think it's something that people just want to have people buy and just get. I think in these commercials they only show results of people who have been successful. Not everyone is successful. So I think people need to do a better job of showing the real people in these commercials and not people that work for the organization.
Woo!